Plaintiff, Dion Edwards, says she knows the defendant through her son, and she claims she is nothing but a fraud. Dion claims after she bought a truck from the defendant, it was repossessed because the defendant had failed to pay on it for over 2 years. So she's suing for the cost of the vehicle. Defendant Felicia Dixon says Dion first came into her life when she was trying to get with Felicia's 19-year-old son. And after she purchased the SUV, Felicia caught Dion in her son's bed smoking marijuana. Felicia claims it was Dion's fault that the SUV was repossessed, and she's countersuing for harassment and defamation.
Start with you.
Yes, I wanted to sue her because she's shown herself to be a fraud and a con artist.
Where do you know her from?
I know her through her son, who I know through my child's father. We were all friends.
Okay.
So
How long have you known her?
I want to say almost a year.
Okay. You all have gotten along?
Yeah, we were friends. We were all getting along. He hung
Is this
out
the
at my
only
house.
thing that broke up your friendship, something involving this vehicle?
This is what broke up our friendship. We were all friends.
Okay, let me ask you, were you all?
No, I didn't even know her, sir.
I know, now that you owe this money, you don't know all of a sudden.
Your Honor, I did not know her. I met her through him.
I know you don't.
I never knew her. Never knew her till she asked about my car.
She don't look familiar today, does she?
Never knew her. I promise she looks familiar, but I did not know Miss Edwards. I'm in a whole different age bracket than them.
All right, why are you here today?
We're here today because she sold me a technically stolen truck. Why I say
She
that?
sold you a stolen truck for how much?
$1,500. We wrote up a bill of sales because she did not have the title. So we wrote up a bill of sales. Would you like that?
Yes. What type of car was it?
It was a 1996 Ford Expedition.
96
Yes, sir.
Expedition.
Yes, sir.
That's not true. It was a 1999 Expedition.
99.
99. All right. That's the greatest deal I've heard of.
I know, right? That's why I jumped on it.
I need that deal. Well, I guess if it was stolen, yeah.
Thank you.
She sold you a stolen car, all right? And how did you find it was stolen?
Because after I bought it from her on February 15th, which was President's Day, I bought the truck from her. On the 16th, we went and paid for the title. The tag. Would you like that receipt too? We went and paid for the tag. And then about a month and a half later, I hear a beep beep outside my window. I jump up out the bed, it's a tow truck, backing up to my truck. So I run down the steps and ask him, what are you doing? He said, are you Felicia Dixon? I said, no, sir, I'm Dion Edwards. He said, well, this truck I've been looking for this truck for over 2.5 years. It is basically stolen.
What do you mean by basically?
Because she stopped making payments.
The police come to your house when you have a stolen automobile, not a tow truck.
Repossession, yeah. He let me know that since he spotted the truck that the sheriff's on his way, so I had to run and get the bill of sales to show him, sir, she sold me this truck. I didn't just up and take the truck. I had to prove that to him in order for him to call the police off.
Okay, so and what ultimately happened?
What ultimately happened is that I called her and told her they're taking the truck. She said, who told me where it's at? I was like, I didn't know it was in hiding. I didn't know we were supposed to be hiding the truck. So how could me or any of my friends tell anybody where it's at?
She didn't say, I don't know you.
Lord.
She didn't play like she don't know you like she did today. So she said, what again? What was...
She said, well, I'm going to handle it. I'm going to call you back. So she calls back a couple of hours later to tell me, well, she couldn't get my truck back, but I could pick up the payments of $375 a month for this truck. Why would I do that? If I wanted to do that, I could have went to Ford or anybody else, put down a down payment and paid a car note. That's what I wanted to do.
All right, let me hear from you.
First of all, Your Honor, can I state a little bit about Dion?
Sure.
Like I said, I didn't know Miss Edwards when
memory's coming back, yeah.
No, I did not know Miss Edwards from the beginning. I never have saw her until my son came and told me she wanted to talk to me about my expedition. The truck was purchased by me in 2009. And
how much did you pay?
The total truck was $5,990 plus
now that sounds more reasonable.
and it came out to be about $7,000.
That sounds about the cost.
When
came out to be $7,000.
You know when they do their entries and all.
So you financed it.
Right.
All right. What were your payments per month?
$375.
Go ahead.
So my son came to me and he told me that Miss Edwards wanted to buy my car. I said, Shade, I can't sell her the car. The car still got notes on it.
Right.
She said, well, she want to talk to you about the car. He came back to me again. I said, well, okay, let's go up there. This was early one morning. We went up to where she stayed, which was in the, hood. And I gets up there, you know, and we talked. The first thing I asked Dion, I said, Dion, why you want to buy this truck? She said, because I've been to several car lots and I couldn't get no car because of my job situation. I said, well, I got a Cadillac and I got another Expedition at a Lexus. She said, I want this car. Okay, this truck. She said, this will make me look good for what I do. So she said, I said, well, you could take up the car payment. I said, you can give me back what I put into the car as a down payment, $1,500. Oh, you take up the car payment. She agreed. My son was there. I said, are you sure this is what you want to do? Go test drive the car.
How many payments was the car delinquent?
It was about 1 month at that time.
Okay,
because
so
I had just got a Lexus.
All right, so she would have had to pay the delinquent $375 plus the $1,500, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, and then continuing until it was paid off.
It was paid for.
That was your agreement.
Right. Plus, she asked me if I had given her a stolen car, why would we go to the tag place and get a tag? If it was stolen, they would have never gave me a tag for a stolen car. The tag is in my name, Felicia Dixon.
And I paid that $70.
But you said it was stolen.
Yes, because that's what that man pulled up to my house and said, that he been looking for his truck.
A drama queen.
He is considering it.
You have evidence that, this will explain, I am selling the Ford in the sum of $1,500. This vehicle is sold as is, with no title, no warranty, only a bill of sale. Ma'am? How do you account for this?
Say what?
How do you account for this?
I saw, like I said, she was supposed to pick up the note, but she gave me my $1,500.
That's not what this says, ma'am.
Well, what is it saying, Your Honor?
I am selling the Ford 1999 Expedition in the sum of $1,500.
Okay. Well, maybe I worded it wrong, but she was supposed to take up the note.
You did, because I believe you. I don't believe you sold this woman. You intended to sell this woman this car for $1,500 that you owed thousands of dollars on.
And I have witness statements too, but my son can vouch.
It has been told to Dion that there is no title.
No title. I told her that because the car was not paid for.
You knew that part. That was on your mind, that it hasn't been paid for. So if you put on here there is no title, you should have put on here there is no title because the car is not paid off and she is responsible for paying it off.
Actually, Your Honor.
Come on up. State your name.
My name is Shay Brown.
What do you want to tell me?
She wanted the vehicle just because of the case of the police just pulled her over something to show that was something in the car. That was the only reason we really did a bill of sale. We really just would have did cash and then been through with the car. And she would have had to go back to the car dealership. So
I would say it was not worded right, but ain't nobody finna sell no 1999 for no $1,500, $7,000 car. Then I know it ain't paid for.
Unless they have four other cars and they're trying to be nice to their friends.
No, I'm not trying to be nice.
That's what happens when you come in here talking big.
No, I'm just saying.
I got a Cadillac, I got another Expedition, I got two other cars. Hey, take this for $1,500.
Oh, no.
You in the hood. I'm living big.
Okay, I have a witness also statement that says I did not sell her. Well, okay, we could go with that then, Your Honor. You know the law. I'm not going.
I don't have a choice.
Okay.
If I do, I'm violating the law. Okay. I'm violating the law if I go against this contract.
Okay.
Your counterclaim for $2,500 for defamation.
Before I get to the defamation, I would like to also say part of my defamation has to do with my son.
Okay.
Dion was after my 19-year-old son. That's how they met. They didn't know each other just on a personal, everyday basis. She had a boyfriend, a baby daddy boyfriend. She would come by the house in the Expedition, pick my son up, go get his hair cut, take him to dinner, try to mac daddy. Come to find out she started coming by my house after she bought the Expedition. I smelled something funny in my house one day. Shay, come here. So he never did get down them steps. So I goes up the steps. She in the bed, shirt half all open, smoking weed with my son. So I asked her, I said, is there a problem up in here? What the hell? So she said, Shay, I'm finna get ready to go. I said, no, let me talk to you woman to woman. I said, first of all, nobody really comes to my house. And I said, Shay don't smoke weed in my house. And you think I'm finna let you smoke weed in my house and disrespect my house? I'm sitting downstairs, you disrespect me upstairs.
Do you prohibit your son from having women with their clothes off in the house?
Yes.
Okay. Oh. Do you prohibit him from smoking weed in the house?
In my house, definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
I heard, and he was smoking weed that day.
She had the weed
now,
that
was he
particular day.
smoking it?
I don't know whether he was smoking, but they was in there together, so I'm sure they was.
Earlier you said he was.
No, sir.
She had the weed.
I didn't ask you who had it. Listen to me carefully. Did he smoke some?
Yes.
Right. So what did you say to him when you pulled him back into the room?
No, I didn't pull him into the room.
I know you didn't. Go ahead, ma'am. Let's get to the defamation, ma'am. You're putting everything on this young lady, and your son sitting right there doing the same thing. He could have told her, don't smoke weed in my mama's house. Get out. He could have said, put your clothes on. I don't like women with their clothes off in my mama's house. Get out.
Okay, but then...
Ma'am, I'll give you one more time. You got one more time to talk about this defamation you're countersuing for. Go ahead.
This particular day, I'm down my 75-year-old aunt house. I sit with her a lot. And Shayden was out there washing cars. I left and went home. As soon as I left to go home, my aunt's calling me back 10 minutes later telling me Deanna is down in her house making a scene, slandering my name, talking about I sold her a stolen vehicle. The vehicle was not.
Who did she tell that to?
She told it to all the guys that was out there in my office.
Yeah, she told me also.
My aunt. But the car wasn't stolen. Now, if I sold her vehicle, that's fine, but it wasn't stolen.
Let me see your letters. Who are those from?
My daughter and my 75-year-old aunt.
Ma'am, did you tell anyone that the car was stolen?
Yes, sir. I went to the residence where she said I could find her at. They were moving. When my car got taken, they decided to stop answering phones.
Ma'am, you know this car wasn't stolen.
Yeah,
the police didn't come. People came to repossess it. You did defame this woman's name. She did not sell you a stolen car, and you knew she didn't. $1,500 is your judgment. I'm giving you your money back. $1,500 is your judgment. $1,000 is yours for the defamation. Have a good day.
I didn't want to get with them, and if I wanted them, I could have had them. That's how I feel about that situation.
When you gave me a key to your house and I walked into your house that night.
My son a key to her house and was telling him her boyfriend was beating her up. She's a beautiful young lady, but everybody in the neighborhood has had her.
Key.
Prove it.
Squirrel.
Where's
She's
the
a
key?
hoe.
And she's a hoe too.
She's a hoe. You don't know.
And a trifling at that.
That's all right. Your mama.
And your mama.
Your mama.
Hi, Judge Mathis. My name's April, and I have a question for you. If I'm a passenger in my friend's car and another driver who doesn't have insurance hits us, can I sue my friend for medical bills?
Yes, you can, April. You can also make a claim with your friend's insurance company to recover your expenses and to compensate you for your pain and suffering as a result of your injuries.